Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today in this video I'll be giving you a demonstration of how you can design a flow which can separate the image files that is present in input folder and move them to a specific folder which actually represent their category. So here uh, if you can see in front of the screen, like I have many image file that is present in a particular folder where you can see the name is input image folder. So in the input image folder, maybe someone has dumped lot of files, like I would say image files, into this folder, and I think here it's around 84 files. So what's the use case of what we have to do here is we have to take each image file and we have to understand, okay, what is the content of the image. And here you can see the content of the image is like kind of nature, right? So what I have to do is I have to move this particular file to output folder, and in the output folder I have to create a folder with name called nature, and then move this image file there. Okay, so this is what my this is what I have to do, and here I'll be demonstrating the same how we can do using the flow. Because in the real scenarios, if you try to do it manually, how much time it would take more, right? Because maybe in real scenario it's like here it's 84, sometimes it's maybe around 500, 400 or 800. In that scenario, reading each image and understanding its content and then moving it, maybe it would be like take more time and it won't be much accurate, right? Maybe there should be some kind of mistakes. So to avoid that, what we'll be doing is we'll be using the we have designed a flow, or I have designed a flow in Power Automate, which can go through each file, understand its content, based on the content create a folder in the output folder representing its category, and move the file there. So here in that flow, right, I have utilized some of the generative AI actions which is present under the AI builder set of actions. So now let's go to the flow design to understand how the flow has been designed. So see, this is just a demo flow, right? So here the trigger, I didn't care much about the trigger here. Okay, so what trigger I have used here is a normal trigger, which actually where the flow only works when a user actually run the flow. Okay, whenever user need the flow, he will trigger it. That's so that's a trigger I have used here, but depending upon the use case it may change. For example, the use case is something like this, like the person places the file inside the input folder. Immediately the flow needs to be triggered, and it need to understand, okay, what is the content of the image, and move it to the specific folder representing its category. So at that point the trigger would be different, and at that point the flow may have some changes, but the logic is actually same. How it identifies the image content, how it classifies the image content, and all everything would be same. Okay, so here this is kind of an interesting use case, and maybe there should be many variation of this particular use case, I would say. Okay, so this is one of the simplest use case I could demonstrate, where I can show how you can utilize some actions like getting the description of an image based on the image content. So there is one such action under the AI builder itself, which is a major breakthrough in this particular flow. So let me go through the flow step by step to understand how the flow actually works. So first is the trigger. Next, what it will do is it will list out all the files that is present in this particular folder under the input image folder, and I assume that all the file that is present under the input image folder are images. Okay, so for that I am using get file actions. So this get file action retrieve me a list of all the file associated with that particular folder. Okay, and here I have used the top count as 5000. The reason is why, because as part of this experimentation I have tried around with 800 files. So at that point, if you know that this get file has a limitation, by default it will retrieve only 100 files, and to retrieve more than 100 files I have used top count as 5000. But if you want to retrieve more than 5000, you have to enable the pagination, and this all depends upon the license which you are holding. Okay, for this for the Power Automate, it depends on the license as well. Okay, and that is something you can get it from the Microsoft documentation and everything. So now this is another important part which I have to discuss, like about that. And the next is, once you get the list of all the files associated with this particular input folder, Now what the next step is, you have to loop through each of the files using this value dynamic content, which is the output of the get files. And then what you have to do is, for each file you have to get its content, that is for each image file you have to get the image content. So here I am using the identifier, which is also a property associated with the get file action. So if you see identifier, see, okay. And now this get file content will give us the content associated with that particular image file. Now based on the image content, we'll be using another AI builder action, and this AI builder action name is generate description of an image. What does this action will do is, it will take the image content as an input, and based on the image content it will generate the description of the image. And this and along with description it will also give us some tags that can be associated with that particular image, maybe a kind of certain categories this image can be fit into. And if you want to see that output associated with the generate description of the image, let me just show this one. You see, description, you see the description is one of the output, tags is also another output. Tags means you can say you can associate this image with multiple tags which can represent a kind of category, right, as well. But there should be multiple tags associated with it. And next is confidence of the description, like see this description that image is generating has some confidence, like how confident it is that this image is suited to this particular description. If that confidence is low, we can say that the description that is associated with the image may not match exactly as it need to be. So at that point, what for an advanced users, what they can do is, based on the confidence level, either if the confidence level is high, you can go with the flow design, or you can go with the output that is generated by the action. Or what you can do is, let's say if the confidence is, let's say, less than 50%, you want a human to validate it. There you can include an approval action, and you can where a human can check that file, and then it can generate a description, and can also add some tags as well. So that is another way that you can think of, okay. And there is another thing. And so these are the output that are associated with the generate description of an image action. And this action is actually currently it is in preview. If you go to the AI builder, you will see that. See, sorry, I think this is yeah, this is under preview, and this is actually generative AI actions. And now what next step is, we will get two output from this action, right? One is tags and another is description. Now what we'll be doing here is, we'll be passing these details to a prompt, and this prompt, what it will do is, based on the information it has received as an input, it will recommend a folder name that will suits the category of the image file, so that to which it will be moved, okay. So for showing the prompt, I can show you in a text file. You can see this is a prompt I have designed, quite detailed prompt, right? So this is how we should write a prompt, so that we'll get the correct response. So you see, I have created a context where I'm asking, like where I will be feeding the details of, I will be feeding the image description as well as the tags associated with the image, and then it will give me a folder name which actually represents the category of that image. So that name which it is giving as a prompt response will be the category, okay. And that category folder will be created under the output folder if not already created. That's what we'll be doing as part of the flow. But this prompt will give us the folder name. And one more thing you have to note here is, if the prompt, or if this AI model is not able to detect, okay, which category it falls to based on the image description and tag, it can output unknown as an output, okay. So it can just output unknown, so that the bot can create an unknown folder, and then it will move the files which it fails to categorize, so that business or any user can check it later and can move it to the correct folder if needed. So by this, what we are trying to achieve is, like, we are trying to achieve some level of accuracy, right? Because here I couldn't guarantee that it would be 100% accurate, but to some extent it would be accurate, so that it reduces the workload, right? So like out of 84, if we can able to at least able to classify 50 files correctly, even 34 couldn't be classified properly. At that point the workload is reduced, right? So that is a quite advantage of using this AI builder action, I would say. Okay, even though certain results would be wrong, there should be some exceptions, right? So, and now it will generate text, right? The output of this particular action is actually text. It's a text dynamic content that you can see text. That's a major output that we'll be using throughout this flow design. Okay, and now let me delete this one. Now what we'll be doing is, next once we run this action also, what we'll be doing is we will be checking whether any folder with name of the text in the lowercase format is existing in this particular output folder, so that if already a folder exists, the flow doesn't have to proceed to create a new folder there, right? It can just move that file to that particular folder. So I'm just using the get file again to check whether that folder exists there or not. For that I'm just checking with the name, the folder name in the lowercase format, and also I'm checking whether the object is folder or not by using fs object type equal to 1. Fs object type equal to 1 means it will only check for folder types, and this will represent the folder name. Got it? And once this is done, what we'll be doing is we'll be checking whether the folder exists or not. If the folder doesn't exist, means based on the output, if there is no such folder existing, what happen is it will create a folder, something like this. See, it will create a folder with lowercase format. But if the folder actually exists, it doesn't do anything. So what I will do is, once this all validation has been done, it will move the file to the destination folder. If you see here, see how it will move that image file to the destination folder that is just created. If you see, it will use a file identifier to understand which file it needs to move, which is the output, which is through which it is iterating, and then it will identify the destination folder to which it needs to move the file. And so this is how the flow is actually designed. So now let me just save this flow again, because I have did some actions to show you how the flow actually works. And also I think I have forgot to show you the prompt also, right? So I have just shown you how the prompts look like, but where I have returned this prompt, maybe this is the prompt which I have returned. You see, under AI hub I have created a prompt using AI prompt actions, and there is one video also I have did where I have utilized this prompt to do some other actions. You can just refer that, where I have explained in detail how you can create the prompt, how you can pass the input parameters there and all. You see, I have created a prompt with name, folder categorizer prompt. I have included all the prompt details which I have mentioned here. Along with this, I have included two inputs also. If you see, in image description tags, if you see here, okay, image description tags, and these two inputs, I think if you go here, you will see that. So whatever output which is coming from the generate description of an image, I am passing it as a input here under description tags. Okay, so this is what about the prompt. And if you see here, there is a warning. What's a warning actually? So whenever we use create text with GPT, right, always it generates some response, right, but the response may not be accurate. So that is why that Microsoft or Power Automate is recommending to use a approval action just after this create text, so that we can verify the validity or the accuracy of the results. Maybe in certain areas where accuracy is more important, you can utilize that. Okay, but here for the demo flow purpose I'm not using it. It's okay, but but in real scenarios, if you want to use it, you can utilize that. Okay, so now maybe I think we have saved the flow. I think we have also loaded all the 84 files. Okay, because I'm just loading only 84 files, because so that we can just show you the flow in a simple manner instead of taking it a long time. So I'm just triggering the flow. So now if you go to the output folder, you see, You see, in the meantime, it has created multiple subfolders. You see, and each subfolder will have the images. So it has created a category building. Under the category, it has moved that image. But see, this building category only have the image folder, which actually related to building, right? And animal. See, it's quite funny. See, it was able to accurately move these image files to this particular anime folder. And maybe you will find there are certain uh, images which may be inaccurately or inaccurately classified. But there in that scenarios, actually why it happened, because maybe the since I already told you that there is a confidence associated with the image generation, image content generation, right? So if we have utilized it, we may be able to have classified the image accurately. Maybe we can move that to an unknown folder, and then we can ask a user to check it once the flow run is completed, right? So I think there should be a unknown folder will be created as well. If you can go up, I think it would be down. Yeah, you see, unknown folder is also created. So whatever files which are not able to be classified, maybe it has to be classified as bot, but it was not able to classify it due to some reasons. See, it was not able to classify it properly, some reasons. And see, it has able to move all the 84 files into the respective subfolders. So if you go outside, see, all the 84 files has been moved successfully to the required subfolders by creating the subfolders of the specific category. Maybe it may be not exact category as well sometimes, right? It may be also inaccurate, but I think it's good. Overall it seems to be good. Still there are some issues as well, so overall it's good, seems to be okay. And also one more thing which I have forgotten here is to make the things faster. What I have did here is I have used the concurrent flow actions here. I have enabled the concurrency on so that it can process items in parallel, so that things can work faster. Okay, otherwise it will be quite slow. So to avoid that, I have enabled that concurrency as well. Okay, so this is actually I want to show. Actually here the main agenda of this particular video was to show how you can utilize this generate description of an image for use cases like image separation and all. And even this use case you can think of in another way as well. Here the bot is creating, or the flow is actually creating the folders, right? In the output folder. Instead of that, you can create a well defined, like say 4 folders, and what you can in the prompt itself you can modify, like okay, out of this folder to which folder this particular image can be moved. That will be much more accurate, right? Instead of asking the bot to create the folder, right? So that would be quite more accurate than what we have designed. So these are some other use case which you can think of. Okay, so that's all what I want to show through this particular tutorial. Hope you like this video. If you like this video, please like and subscribe my YouTube channel, and thank you.